more kids are being separated from their parents and temporarily housed in what are essentially summer camps.
What side of history do you want to be on? Do you want to be on her side?
San Diego Union Tribune described them today as looking like basically boarding schools.
Or do you want to be on the right side? Because let me tell you this, no one on the right side of history ever referred to children being stripped from their parents and locked in cages as going to summer camp. No one on the right side of history consistently dehumanized immigrants by describing them as roaches or animals. No one on the right side of history cited the Bible to rationalize snatching children as young as 8 months from their parents.
It is very biblical to enforce the law.
No one on the right side of history has ever had to nitpick what the definition of a cage is. No one on the right side of history ever stood by and accepted the terrible and inhumane treatment of children just because they're immigrants. Nobody on the right side of history thought this was the answer to a flawed policy. Last night, Laura Ingraham proved she's not going to falter under the competition from Tanya Lobotomy as the world's most soulless person to read a teleprompter. No sir, she's taken that top spot and holding firm. But let me ask you, Laura, seeing how swell of a person you have turned out to be, I'm not sure I even want to know the answer to this question, but did any of the summer camps you attended as a kid sound like this? What about age restriction? You see, the youngest attendee to one of these summer camps happens to be a now unaccompanied 8-month-old child. Did your parents send you to a camp when you were that young, or were you just too busy repeatedly watching Birth of a Nation? And in any of these camps you attended, were any of the camp counselors charged with a super aggravated sexual assault of a 4-year-old girl after her mother, an undocumented immigrant, was being blackmailed to stay silent about the abuse or face deportation? No? What's wrong, huh? Clan got your tongue? Let me repeat. There are two sides of history you can choose to be on. You can choose to be on Laura's side, where you call arguably one of the greatest role models of our generation uneducated and essentially tell him to shut up and dance.
Or as someone once said, shut up and dribble.
And then describe detention centers where children are being ripped from their parents, covered in foil sheets and left to fend for themselves as light, breezy summer getaways. Or you can choose to be on the other side. Resist this despicable abomination and stand against those who seek to diminish and minimize the horrific treatment of human beings they call animals. This should be bipartisan, people, or at least you would assume that in 2018 America, children as young as 4 having to look after other children would outrage the majority of American citizens. And it does. Most Americans do oppose these practices. But under this administration, many have nevertheless decided to replace empathy with politics, using every possible means to rationalize a decision that, again, if it was taking place in any other developed country in the Western world, would outrage the very same people making excuses for it. Citing the Bible, calling the detention centers summer camps or boarding schools, claiming these children are actually crisis actors, disputing whether they're actually kept in cages or just fenced enclosures. I mean, come on, that's where Border Patrol draws the line, calling them cages. So what will you do? Will you join Laura's dinner party? Will you turn a blind eye? Make peace with yourself under this false pretense that stripping an 8-month-old from her mother will make your life any better? Or will you resist this shite? Fight alongside those who seek to end this atrocity, regardless of political affiliation. Make your voice heard, donate here, and take a stand, man. Don't be on her team. Follow me on Instagram at Francis M. Maxwell, on Twitter also at Francis M. Maxwell. I'll be posting a link on my Instagram to where you can donate to help and fight against this injustice. You can get the TYT app here, and as always, continue to resist.